Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Zactivist Speaks on International Opportunities for Educators. And I am joined by not only an amazing educator, a phenomenal entrepreneur, but a dear friend, the one and the only Dr. Patricia Morgan. Dr. Morgan, how are you, my love?
I'm doing well, Dr. Kirk. Well, I can't call you by Dr. Kirk for some reason because you are always that to me. And I should be Patricia to you or Trish. So let's
I'm trying to keep it professional for the folk, right? For the people out there who are tuning in to really gain from you a lot of knowledge about what you're doing. And we really hope to get that. In order to get from you exactly what you need or give you exactly what you need, we really need you to please go ahead and give us comments in the comment box. So if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, whatever platform, give us a comment. Let us know who you are and what platform you're using. And then if you have questions, we want you to stop and ask those questions. I'm going to start right off and say, Dr. Morgan, you have had a phenomenal career and you have made adjustments along the way. I want to start off with, what is one word that you would use to describe your teaching experience?
Invigorating. I absolutely enjoyed teaching. I still think I'm a teacher at the end of the day. I will be a lifelong educator for as long as I have breath. I think that is my calling. I didn't know it at first, but once you do it, you know immediately if it's for you. I hope today's episode shows other ways that you can still tap into that passion in other areas. But yes, invigorating. It was the best decision of my life.
And see, I feel the same way. And many people, especially right now, there's so many people that feel that way, but they're considering leaving the classroom and to pursue other things. Mm-hmm. What motivated you or made you make the decision to actually leave the classroom?
Well, leaving the classroom or leaving
leaving just the classroom, right? We're not yet talking about education in the traditional sense. Yeah. But what motivated you and made you leave the classroom?
Okay, so I got to a point where I knew that I wanted to touch more people. I was a teacher leader at that time, department chair. I ran different clubs and organizations. And so I always knew that I wanted to work with teachers in a different capacity. My first thing that I wanted to be after leaving the classroom was an instructional coach, but that's not what God had for me. I would apply and apply and apply all over, like every single year. And I could not get that role for some reason. And then it wasn't until you and I started working together that I realized what God was trying to get me to go into. And the role that Zach and I did, we would actually train coaches and we would provide professional learning support services to various schools. I was the high school science specialist in Atlanta. And so I was able to work directly with instructional coaches and teachers. So not just doing teacher trainings, but leader trainings as well. And so through that, I knew okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, work with adults in this capacity. Furthermore,
just hold one moment, because you gave a moment, like this is one of those aha moments, right? One of those Oprah aha moments. And I need the people to hear what she said. Like, listen, Dr. Morgan wanted to be an instructional coach. Yes. And she applied for that job multiple times, went out for multiple interviews, and she did not get the job. Zachary Kirk wanted to be an assistant principal and was continuously told that you weren't ready or it's not your time. And both of our careers went rapidly far beyond either of those positions. And because that was not what was meant for us. Yeah. And I want you watching to know that the career path that's right for you is going to come to you. Now, Doc, because again, you wanted to be an instructional coach, but your first job out of the classroom was one that was training the instructional coaches.
Yes, yes.
That's a big deal. And I can't, emphasize that enough for those watching, because there's somebody watching right now who has been told no on a position that they want or think is right for them, and you're being told no because that job is not the job for you, what is really along your path, what's really in your, what God has for you is actually bigger than what you can see for yourself. And I want you to recognize that. That's right, Brandy.
Yes, Brandy.
On the head. To know that, because the story that Dr. Morgan is going to share with you and where her career is gone and what she is doing is so amazing. It's so amazing. So again, that's why I'm glad you're here, Riviera. I'm glad you're here because you are going to stick with us because this story is amazing and the opportunities out there are amazing. So with that being said, Dr. Morgan, continue. I'm going to mute again.
Yeah, don't mute. This is a convo. This is supposed to be us at the same time. So you're right. And at the time I couldn't see, I just kept getting denial after denial. In one situation, the principal had all but guaranteed me the position, and it fell through at the last minute. And so I got very discouraged. Like, maybe I'm in the wrong field. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But it fell right in my lap at the same time. And mind you, at the same time, I was in graduate school. I was getting my doctorate at the time. And so I knew I wanted to go into curriculum and instruction, some kind of curriculum and instruction supervision. Like, that was my lane. That was what I was really passionate about. You know how people hate writing lesson plans? That was not me. Like, I love writing lesson plans.
We love lesson plan. Yes, that's right. That's right. We love it.
Yes, I love the instructional design process, like how you think through how people learn and how they reach understanding. That's what I love doing. And so I got the call to come and interview. I worked my behinds off for that interview. I was over here showing them, okay, this is my letter, my intro letter to people. If I get the job, this is how I'm going to introduce myself. Here goes my professional learning plan for the year. Like I said, if I only get this one shot to go after this position, I'm going to make sure I show everything that I had. And it was amazing. I got to meet so many incredible people. Dr. Hurt being one of them. We got to really connect with other people who are like-minded, who had the same passion for curriculum and instruction. He said, I just changed the dates on my lesson plans. You know what, Brandy?
Don't tell Brandy. I'm taking that down because that's one of my babies. That's a Kurt kid. Okay. Who's now a teacher. So I don't want anybody knowing that my baby is out here this day. But she is in fine arts, so It is a little bit different. Like, she's literally a music teacher, but still. Yes. But so here's the thing. So Dr. Morgan, you were in the classroom for how many years?
Oh, geez. Let me do the math without dating myself.
Well, don't do that. Let's say you were in the classroom for a number of years, right?
Yes.
And in that time frame, you applied for a number of coaching positions. You didn't get it. But then
and I interviewed for at least, I got up to like the highest round for like at least two.
Yep. And you kept having people tell you no that weren't. And again, I hate to say, I'm trying to say this the right way, but I can tell. I'll say this in full like transparency. Many of the people that told Dr. Morgan no, they were not really qualified to be in a position to tell her no because they didn't know instructional design and they certainly didn't know coaching. But on the flip side, they're not there anymore. They're not in those positions. They are not there. They're gone. So you got promoted and became over science instruction for the Atlanta school system.
Yeah.
And in that role, you were there for how long?
I was there.
You were a professional learning specialist. A content specialist for how long?
For a year. For a year? Was it? It was a little.
You were there for 1 year. You got put in this position to oversee science instruction in one of Georgia's most transformative school system at the time, and one of the state's largest school systems at the time. And you were doing it for 1 year. You didn't do it for 1 year because you weren't successful at it. You did it for 1 year because you got pulled out and promoted. What came next?
Then I got a position to do the same thing that I was doing, but on a K through 12 basis. So that was my last role in the K-12 space. So I directed the science, health, and PE programs for another Metro Atlanta district. Mind you, at the time, this is another testimony, Dr. Kerr, I didn't think I was going to get the job. I was applying for jobs at that time because I wanted to see, because two reasons. One, our positions were funded by Race to the Top, as you know. And so we always knew that the funds would run out for that position. And so I always kept an eye out on what was coming. And then two, I was afraid that I was not going to get the job because where I came from had a lot of, how do we say this, Dr. Kurt, without putting the district on blast?
There was a stigma and controversy, and there was controversy in the district, and there was a stigma attached to every educator in the district.
Yeah,
it was just a reality. I mean, it was a nationwide scandal that everyone knows about, and you know that many educators there had the stigma attached.
Yeah, and I just thought that nobody would want me because of that. But it didn't. I came into the interview. I ran across. I not competed for the role against people who were seasoned in that district, in that respective district, and my experience was able to shine, and I was able to get a promotion in less than a year. So, and let me tell you how God works. And I hope whoever is getting blocked right now realizes that this happens for a reason. So when I was in that first district, just over high school, I had a supervisor, and this is now part of my testimony. The man hated me. I think he hated me, and I don't know why he hated me. I later found out that he hated me because he thought I wanted his job. Mind you, I didn't even think I was qualified enough for his job, but God also had another job for me. So the man hated me, and he blocked me in every which direction he could. In fact, when I interviewed for my role that I was last in, I was only able to do that role because I was over high school, so we do this huge international science competition that as the high school specialist, I'm supposed to be with this person to go on the to go to this conference with, but he didn't take me. He took the elementary person, and during that time, I was able to interview, and I also had, because he wasn't there because he was not going to approve my leave, I was able to take leave and apply for that position. Before that man even came back from that trip, I had already interviewed, got a second interview and a job offer. So when he came back, I sent my recommendation to his supervisor because I wasn't going to deal with him. His supervisor is the one that gave me release time to go and interview and approve mine. And I'm forever grateful for her believing in me. And she even reached out to me and was like, is there anything we could do to make you stay? And I was like, no, I think this is where I'm supposed to go next. And so there are people that are going to stop you, but let me tell you, they're just going to be like little stepping stones for you to get where you need to go. And that is something that I'm always careful of, even as a leader myself, as an educational leader, making sure that I don't stop people, making sure that I know I don't own people and their destiny, that they're going wherever they're going with or without me. And my role is to give them the tools that they need to be successful. And I've done that. Like, people who work for me they've been in my position. You don't ever have to worry about somebody taking your role when you're good. You give them the tools so that they can make their own.
And that is a reality of being a leader, is that you grow leaders and you empower people to be the best version of themselves and to do what is best for them, not what is best for you or for what is an organization, because people's lives are bigger than that. Mm-hmm. Dr. Morgan, so you were 1 year in the job that we share.
Yes.
But then how many years have you been?
Wait, hold on. You're not going to tell them what you did too, because you did some things too.
This is never about me. It's about you. So listen, Dr. Morgan. So then you went to this different school system in this promotional position. How many years have you been there?
Oh, I did that one for 9 years. 9 years.
9 years. See, that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You were meant to be there.
Yeah.
And when you got there, you have excelled. And you've excelled and I will say this. You went from one school system that had a certain demographic and population to a school system that was the polar opposite, but yet and still that's where you were meant to be. And you were able to grow and excel and achieve a number of career milestones and have a huge impact on the lives of all children, with, in my opinion, a specific focus on those who are Black and brown, because they don't see leaders like you in this district. For some of those kids that you would see through science fair, and some of those kids that you would see through introducing them to STEM activities, they never had an opportunity to see a Black woman in a leadership role, especially not over a content area as complex as science and STEM. That is a huge testament to your ability, to your stamina, and to your stick-with-itness. Because I know you have never said this, but I know that you have experienced a different level of professional racism that many people have not. Because as a teacher in a school system that was not was predominantly not Black and brown, I experienced a professional racism in the classroom, and at the leadership level. But I know that for you, it was significantly worse.
Yeah, and can I speak on that, Dr. Kirk? The first part, and then the second part, I know we're going to get into. When I made that decision to go to a different district that did not mirror me, and I'm just going to be as frank as I can say it, the demographics of even though I lived in that district, I'm a member of that community. The demographics it's changed over the course of the time that I've been there. Even when I got there, it's more diverse than what people would like for it to be, especially people who are very old school and they're thinking of the way things should be in certain areas. I went because I had a good friend that was a teacher at a private school. And, she said people would always ask her, why don't you teach with us? Why don't you want to be over here with us? You think you're too good for us? And so that was one of my reservations when deciding to go to a district that did not look like me. I was only accustomed before coming to Atlanta. I was in Miami-Dade. And so I have only been accustomed to being in urban, densely populated school district with people that look like me, staff that look like me. And so I was like, I felt like, one, imposter syndrome. Am I good enough to be here? And then two, I felt like I was deserting my own people by being in this space. And my good girlfriend said, you don't think little brown babies in this school district need to see you? She said, but more importantly, do you think that little white babies need to see people like us in leadership? And after she said that, I realized you're absolutely right. And I got the most satisfaction one day. I was walking down the hallway at this school that is predominantly white. It's like 80% white student population. And this little Black girl looked at me. She said, "You're the science lady." And I could cry in that moment for them to see a Black educated woman in a role that has never been occupied by somebody of my race, and to be able to be a model, not just to Black women, Black little girls, but other people in that district as well. It meant the world to me, and it still means the world to me.
And what I love about it, and this is a piece, right? And I always try to how to say this. The thing about both of us is that we bring our authentic selves to everything that we do. Yes. Like, I am the Zachary that I am every single day, have always been and will always be. And so you went into this district and you could have shrunk. You could have put the fight over the things you believe in to the side, but you didn't. While you're in this district that is 80% majority, you still launched an entire separate career path focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And I brought it with me too. Like when I was at that district, I was the person that did all the diversity session for free. But we're gonna have a conversation about that, because y'all need to not be doing this work for our labor is not for free. Do not give your labor away. Do not make the mistakes that I made, because that people will be unappreciative, and you need to get paid for your services. But I did all of the new teacher induction. I did the professional learning, every diversity, equity, and inclusion training. I trained over 850 educators on bias. So this was work that I was passionate about, and that I was able to do in this space, even though it wasn't a part of even though it wasn't a part of my duties and responsibilities. So yes, I was able to do that.
And it is Candace's birthday today. So happy birthday, Candace. Absolutely. Happy birthday to my boo. And so you continued that, and you moved with it. And that work just grew, right? Yes. So many times we have a lot of educators out there who are considering like side work, consulting work. How were you able to take this passion around diversity, equity, and inclusion and blow that out into a whole separate career path while working a full-time job?
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you, I am the queen of side hustles. So a lot of people do not know this about me. So this will be a first for many people. But I think it's good for people to know this. So I have owned a barbershop for over a decade. I own several real estate properties. I invest. I own. This is my second consulting agency. So I used to, or still do, consult on STEM matters, and then branched off a little bit and started doing diversity, equity, and inclusion. I got started so I'm a serial entrepreneur. Let me just say it like that. And let me tell you why I'm a serial entrepreneur, even though education has been good to me financially. My daddy has always taught me that you should never give people the power to feed you, because if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. And so I've always had more than one. Everywhere I've worked is because I've wanted to work there. And I think that's important, that you provide that security to yourself. And so consulting has been a great way for me to provide extra funding for my family, for the things that we're passionate about, and also provide me the security so that when I feel that I don't want to be in a certain space, I have the ability to move. I got into it randomly, consulting, not the other. Actually, all my businesses I got into randomly, but consulting came about. I had a classmate at Georgia State. She'll never take credit for this, so I always give Donna her flowers. I had a classmate, Donna, who I was in school getting our doctorate together, and she worked at a regional education firm, and they did services for the metro Atlanta area. And she said she would read my dissertation and my drafts, and she said, you should really present on this. And I'm like, who gonna want to listen to this stuff? And at first, it was just about giving access and opportunities around STEM, so I could see. It was very selfish. I wanted to see more people like me in STEM fields. And so my work centered on that. And we offered the course the first year. No one signed up for the course. It was a complete fail. But yeah, the second year, she left the position, but she gave her my contact information to the person that assumed her role. The second year, our previous president runs for office, and people started calling her and calling the office and saying, hey, remember that course that y'all offered? Can y'all bring that course back? We need some assistance trying to navigate what's going on right here. And that person goes into office, and all of a sudden the work was like needed every single year. And then it branched off into areas outside of STEM, and then eventually branched off into areas outside of education. I started getting hit up by organizations like, I'm trying not to say any names, but soccer associations, like things that I would never think that I would be qualified to speak to, or people and groups of people that I would never be qualified to be in front of. But the work has amplified. I've done international training companies, like I'm doing Sweden at this time, New York at another time. So the work has really, it speaks for itself.
It's amazing. All this is getting to, I promise you, our topic of opportunities for educators that are international. It's getting there, but I really wanted to lay down the foundation to give you, the understanding of who Dr. Morgan is, how she's been there, and how she's able to speak on the topic, because where she's going next is a big deal. It's a huge deal to me. I'm super impressed. But I want to say this. Dr. Morgan talked about imposter syndrome. I've never experienced it, Dr. Morgan. I've never experienced it. When I walk in the room, I don't care what the room is. Zachary Kirk belongs in that room. And let me tell you what lets me know I belong in that room. It's what I've overcome in my life at a young age to even be able to walk in the room. That right there is all the evidence that I need to know that I belong. And I feel like everyone out there and you're watching this, you've gone through some of the exact same experiences where you have been battle tested, and or you should know that just simply being here right now on this earth is all the evidence that you need to know that you deserve to be there and that you're worthy. So I want you to think about what I'm saying, and I want you to take that to heart. Because I think a lot of people limit themselves from career opportunities because they don't think that they deserve it or they're not good enough. And you are. when you look at all that you've achieved, I promise you, you're there. And there's so many people who have gained so much because of who they were or who they knew or how they were, what they were born into. I promise you, they're the ones who should be feeling more of that imposter syndrome, not you who've overcome so much in your life and so much in your journey. And also, what do you say, Dr. Morgan?
Speak to it, yes.
And also, Dr. Morgan talked about, and it was reiterated earlier by Brandy, also what she was saying about, not, feeling different or feeling guilty about not being in the urban school system. That, I'm telling you, number one, and this is going to sound controversial. This is going to be controversial. It is harder to teach in a school system where the demographics do not mirror you or your lived experiences. Ooh. And the forces that align against those children are significantly, I can't say that they're stronger, but I'm telling you, sometimes I think that they may be. Because what's horrifying is that children don't even know what's happening to hurt them and to harm them and to hold them back. So they need people of color in every school system in America. Mm-hmm. We need our schools and our school systems to be reflective of all of the children that they serve. And that's not typically, what we see and what's happening. Thank you, Jermaine. So now when you talk about and get to what's next, you've done 9 years of transforming science education in one of Georgia's largest school systems and one of the top 3 performing school systems in this state. You have maintained that excellence. You have maintained those results. You have changed outcomes for kids. And now you're getting ready to leave education in the traditional sense. Yeah. Tell us what you can about what you're about to do.
Okay, so I have a lot of things in coming down the pipe. I'm so excited about all the opportunities that's been presented to me. And the minute I made my decision, everything started falling in my lap. So I'll speak on several opportunities that I've had. I think I can speak on some of these because these are on my social media accounts as public knowledge, and those corporations kind of echoed it. So I've taken on a lot of corporate clients. I have done some international training and corporate trainings. I just did Pepsi last week. I think that's on my LinkedIn. I did PepsiCo, working with their leaders on how to unleash diversity. How do we attract and retain diverse talent? How do we attract and maintain? Oh, you got that up there? All right, Dr. Kirk. So this is it. And
PepsiCo is a massive conglomerate that owns like a lot of stuff. And here you were presenting to this organization and helping them with their efforts around diversity and inclusion. Like, that is huge, right? So you're doing this while holding down like it's a really demanding job. Yeah. Your brand is growing, your reach is growing. Continue.
Yeah, and by the way, I gotta give a shout out to my mama because she had me on Pepsi at 2. Pepsi is my mama's favorite soda beverage, or beverage period. And so I'm so excited. I was so excited about that when I got that call, and I'll be back next month. So I don't think I did too bad to get my invitation to come back. I did not get it rescinded. I'm also working, one of my the one that I'm so passionate about right now is I am getting ready to lead professional learning efforts for a workforce development program in West Africa, in Senegal, to be exact. They are looking to develop or compete on a global scale. So they're looking to, improve their workforce development program.
You are about to lead workforce development efforts in Senegal, West Africa.
Yes.
Tell us, what does that mean? And how did this happen?
Oh yeah, and then Kay said I better go back home. Y'all, I'm so happy about this because I've been to Africa maybe five 5 or 6 times. I love to travel. I don't know if that's in my bio somewhere, but yeah, before the pandemic happened, I watched this movie, Eat, Pray, Love. I love telling this story. And I just went on this journey to find myself and find things that I was so passionate about. I wanted to see 50 countries and 50 states in 5 years. And then the pandemic happened in year 4. So I did not make my goal, but I got to 51 countries and I got to 45 or 46 states, because I count Washington, D.C. as a state. I think it should be a state by now. And so I made some of my goal, but not all of it. Looking forward to getting out to those remaining states. I love traveling. I've been to the motherland several times, but never to West Africa. So I'm excited about that. I'm passionate about that because I feel people say you get like a sense of like home and connection. And I'm Haitian. I really want this project to take off, because if we can do it right here, we can take this project back to other countries like my country, Haiti, and we can help them with their workforce development. They were the first Black republic, the first Black country to free themselves from slavery. And if we can get this here, we can get this around the world for other countries that we have the talent. You can't tell me we are not brilliant. We invented everything. We have the talent. We have the resources. We just need to make sure that our people understand how to compete on a global scale. So I'll be training the trainers over there, are leading the training efforts over there. I'm not responsible for doing any direct training unless I choose to do so. I'll be stationed here and travel as needed. I will be working and I don't know if I can tell the people who I'm working with. I'm afraid to do that, but but I will be working with other organizations. This project is sponsored by the U.S. government, looking to increase workforce development all across the globe. So there's so many, and then I'm getting paid. We're going to talk about that. I'm getting paid to do less work than I do or that I have done in the K-12 space, and I have more time to myself. So those were factors that I had to consider, and it's really aligned with where I am right now, with where I want to be, not just with work-life balance, but how I want my work to be meaningful to who I am as a Black woman.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, this is what I want to share, because again, the focus is on opportunities for educators at an international space.
Yes.
Dr. Morgan didn't hold herself back or confine herself to a specific space. She was open to being and to being able to expand her vision as God expanded her vision. She didn't hold it back. There are many people out there who are afraid to go where the journey takes them. Like, they know that the job they're in isn't right. They know the circumstances are not favorable to their growth and their development, but they're going to stay there because it's comfortable, or they're going to stay there because they're going to rationalize why change, which is the only constant in life, is avoidable. And it's not avoidable. Change is, and this is from someone, I'm a Scorpio. I hate change more than anyone you know. But if there's not one thing I have learned in these good years of life, 30 plus something years of life, it is that you literally have to lean into the flow of life and let that flow take you to where you're meant to be, because it's always better tomorrow than it is today when you do that. So you're right. You have to be uncomfortable to make change. That's right. Now, what made you willing to take such a big jump?
Oh, okay. Well, several reasons. One, I'm very passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And for the life of me, I was not willing to give up my day job. I've always been a serial entrepreneur as well as an employee. I know there are some entrepreneurs that feel like you can't do both, but I'm like, do both as long as you can until you can't do it anymore. And it wasn't until I got really uncomfortable in the K-12 space, because the things that I'm passionate about right now are being tested on a national level. And so things like just this book right here is causing so many controversy. Things just about my existence, my history, my lived experiences. I've heard, people in education, board members say things like they're anti-woke ideology. I'm like, can you define that before you say what you're against? And so I didn't feel that the space that I was in I was going to be able to do both successfully. Like, I don't think that I can be, and I always told myself this, and I'll give myself credit for this. I always said that if I ever had to choose between a job and my humanity, who I am as a Black woman and my lived experiences, I'm going to stand on me every day. I will drop anything and I'm going to stand on who I am and my experiences and who I do this work for. And so when the K-12 got to the space where I felt like it wasn't going to be conducive, like it was, I felt like it was like it wasn't a psychologically safe place. I felt like there was a lot of harm that could be done if I stayed in a space that wasn't supportive, like the K-12 space right now. Some people are supportive of this work, but there are a lot of people that are going against this work. And so that was one of the things that kind of propelled me to say, I can do this. But let me tell you, before that, I made sure that the money was right. For the longest, I was not taking a paycheck from my job. And I'm gonna be transparent about the money.
Tell us about, because listen,
yeah,
there are people out there that have a lot of experiences and they have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of expertise, but because they're educators, they are used to not being compensated for their intellectual capital. Because they are educators, they are used to not being paid for extra work in the day. And as a teacher, you will work 4 hours. You will work 4 to 6 hours beyond a contractual day in service of your children, and it becomes the norm. You will give up weekends. You will give up holidays. You will give up everything to work for the children and never get compensation. How did you learn to overcome that mental block to demand of your financial worth? Because that's what a lot of the educators who are now looking for other opportunities, they're going to grapple with that.
Yes, and I'm seeing some in the comment box as well. We do give everything for free. Even in my last role, I did all of the diversity, equity, and inclusion training for free. I even asked to get compensated for it at one point because I was like, I'm doing all of this and then I still got a 9 to 5. And they said no. And I kept doing it because we're just trained as educators that we're supposed to give. But I prepared myself to do it. And there's various ways that you can set up your fee structure. I'm very transparent about fees and how much I charge and how much I make. And the reason why is because a lot of women of color specifically are under, I don't want to say, we don't know our worth. And we go and we charge less because we're just happy to get something, to get anything. And so I'm very transparent about that. When I first started,
that was it. Like, no, seriously, we are approaching, like, thank God we got Black History Month. March 1st is going to be International Women's Month. And say it again, as Black women, you're saying you're just trying to be happy with what you get because society gives you so little, but expects so much from our Black women. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're trained, or you're trained and conditioned just to give, and to not expect anything back. How did you get over that? Because listen, even when the oppressive systems in our society almost break you as a Black woman, they turn around and then tell you, restore yourself with self-care. I'm serious. I'm telling you, listen to this.
You over here preaching. Yes.
I don't see everybody talking and speaking about self-care. I'm not saying anything wrong with self-care. You love, you take care of yourself. But I am seeing I see a lot of self-care directed towards Black women and perpetuated by Black women. I'm not saying that's wrong. Yes. What I'm saying is it is an expectation from society that you can heal yourself and that you can fix, your own mental issues and tired, distress, so that they can work you some more. Yeah. They can work you some more by you healing yourself. It is an unfair expectation. So I'm glad you said that. Mm-hmm. How did you overcome it?
To be honest with you, when I first started, I think I was charging like $350 for a whole day's worth of work. And I don't remember how I came up with, I do remember how I came up with that. I would take my salary that I was making in my job. I would divide that by how many contract days I was working, and that would give me my daily rate. And then from there, I would divide it by the hours. And that's how I came up with my hourly rate to charge that. But then here's the thing I didn't account for. When you work a salary, you're getting paid for your benefits. When you are a consultant, you gotta add tax, baby. You have to add tax because you are not getting paid for your benefits. You are not getting paid for the time that you're taking to develop these programs. And I didn't know that at first, and nobody was teaching us. And people love to say that, oh, Black folks, we're crabs in the bucket. That's not our mentality, because I always challenge people when they say that about us. The natural habitat for a crab is not a bucket. So we are not used to sharing our resources. We are not used to looking out for each other. And the more that we get to do that,
because we don't have enough to share. Society has denied us the opportunity and a seat at the table, and we're fighting for every single thing that we have.
Yes.
And that's where it comes from.
So at first, that's a great question. How did I get contracts? So at first I was charging this rate, or it was the rate that was given to me. I can't even say I was charging it. It was the rate that was given to me. I didn't negotiate. Rule 1, always negotiate. The worst they're going to say is no. And so I would work through these agencies, and I'm so appreciative.
Rule number 1, always negotiate. Ask for more money. The worst thing they can say is no.
Yes. Okay. Once you get on, you want to make sure that you show up and you show out, and make sure that your survey collects feedback, descriptive, quantitative, and qualitative feedback, because you're going to need that to market yourself to go to the next level. So those are the things that I say you always start with. And then once you start doing those presentations, I would start off with those agencies that would need people to do PD for other teachers and stuff like that. I started off that way, and then I branched off and started doing conferences. So every time I went to a conference, at the time I didn't have a company, an EIN, an LLC, or none of that. So I would put my email on the bottom of every slide, on every handout, so people can contact me after the session if they wanted me to do this work for them as well. And I don't care what it was about. I don't care if I was talking about differentiation, whatever. My name, my copyright signal go on everything so that people could contact me. And that's how I started growing.
It's a brand. She is talking about how she built a personal brand that she can stand behind, that then opened doors for her and created revenue opportunities. There is no way that Dr. Morgan will be getting ready to go to Senegal, West Africa, had she not built a brand that matters.
And then after I did a little bit of establishing who I was, I started asking people you got to come out of your comfort zone. You have to ask people to promote you. Now, don't get upset when your friends don't repost your flyer on Facebook. Your friends are not your target market. I want you to know that your friends are not your target market. Your grandma.
Again, like, this is another huge value bomb. You cannot expect look, my girl right here, my birthday baby is with me every time I go live, like, because she's a friend, right? Like, that is a unique gift, and I love it. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. But at the same time, I'm not mad when someone isn't, because it's not for my family, and this is not for my friends. It is for whoever it reaches. If one person in this whole network of social media sees this, then that's the one person it was meant to reach. I am not creating content for likes, views, or any of that. I'm doing it because it is a public service for those that it will reach.
And yes, someone said strangers are your biggest supporters. Literally, I've had people that found me on social media, and I've gotten clients that way. You have to be your best. And a lot of us are shy, or not. We're not shy. I'm gonna go ahead and call it what it is. We're afraid of our potential. We hide behind the fear of failure. We don't want to put ourselves out there because, if I put myself out there and I'm doing this job and then I get no clients, everybody gonna look down at me. Oh, look, she's so silly to think that she could accomplish this. We're so worried about what other people have to say about us that we're blocking our blessing. It only takes one person, as Dr. Kirk said. That person can be on your Facebook. They can be somewhere at a conference. You don't know who that person is that's gonna entrust you or trust you with their vision to execute what they need done for you. And so make sure that you're putting yourself in these crowds. Find out who wants your services, because everybody doesn't want your services, and you need to present to that crowd. So if you're an educator and you're looking to go into corporate clients, start going and start presenting at human resource conferences. Don't just present in the K-12 space. Look at other conferences, and those are all, you can put proposals in for all these organizations. No one's going to tell you, no, you can't apply because this isn't your background. If you got a good topic, you got a good proposal, you can get your, now it's going to cost you some money to go to conferences. Okay. I'm just going to be upfront about that, but you can go ahead and get your stuff out there so that people can know who you are right before you become known. Like before I had my company, the Executive Learning Lab, it was Dr. Morgan. Like people, these two are the same thing. So you need to make sure that people know who you are and what you're doing. And some people support you in private. And I don't need you to put my stuff out and repost my stuff on Facebook. As long as when somebody say I need a trainer, you go ahead and you speak on it. Like she got you.
Absolutely the case. Absolutely the case. 3 times told to start, it's time to start. Time to start going, because this is the thing. The reason that you've been told to start your business 3 times is because that is where your life is meant to go. Mm-hmm. That is how the journey goes. Same thing if somebody's told you you need to leave the school. Same thing if somebody's told you to leave this job, like multiple times. That is how God moves, and he is moving you slowly and cautiously at first, but you're going to get picked up and thrown up out there soon if you don't do and be in the flow of what God has for your life.
Yeah, and then it grows. And so we just talked about local jobs. And so I would get local school districts. I would do these smaller contracts. And then at that time I was charging, I think it was $1,200 for like a 3-hour session. So my price increased as my awareness increased. But let me tell you my little secrets of how you know you're not charging your worth. If you give somebody your price and they don't say, let me think about it, go up, sis, and bruh, sorry. Go up. If you charge a price and people don't come back, that means it's time to go to the next level in your pricing.
And the more you're known for what you do, the more reputable, you are. Like, my friend Zach Thomas is also a leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I've also seen him go, like, I think he's now like a major, chief equity officer of this great company, but doing a lot of content work on the side. And I know how much he's putting out there asking for, and they're dropping the money because it is needed. And it's not only needed in the United States of America, it's needed all across the globe. And a lot of countries, like what you're seeing in Africa, they have not invested in their people to develop their people. And that's why they're coming to America to bring experts in like Dr. Morgan. Do you recommend, like, if I'm an educator and I'm thinking about would you move to Senegal, West Africa if they paid you to move to Senegal, West Africa?
I think it depends. Hold on, I'm getting feedback. I think it depends on how comfortable you are. Now, I'm comfortable with international traveling. As I stated earlier, I've been to over 50 countries. It's one of my passions. I'm extremely passionate about meeting other people, going to other places, learning about different customs. So for me, it felt good doing it. I won't live there, but I'll be there frequently. And then I also did a lot of conferences internationally. There's a whole bunch of conferences that we can apply to and get scholarships to present internationally. So I presented in Budrum, Turkey before. I flew into Istanbul and then to Budrum. So I've already had that international experience presenting to different audiences and in different countries. And so I feel comfortable taking on this role and going to the next level. And then I charge the premium price to do so. So here go the price. And I started at $350. Then we went to $1,200. And then I went to $1,000 an hour. And then now I'm at a point that if you want me to do a slide deck for you, this is not even me presenting a slide deck for you. It's about $13,000 if you want to go ahead and white label something that I create. And white label, I mean, you want to put your logo on top of my work. And so there are definitely monies in this space for you to do this.
This is absolutely, did you hear that? $13,000 just to simply have me make a PowerPoint for you. Okay? That is...
You're showing your age, Dr. Kerr. It's called a slide deck now. They don't call it PowerPoint no more.
Premium price, right? Premium price. But that is exactly the way that it should be, because that's what happens when you know your worth and you have the intellect. Every educated person out there has the intellectual capital to do this. It's just about doing it. Just about you getting out there and you doing it. And it's you talked about like starting out with like presenting at conferences. To be honest with you, that was a route that I had to take too, right? I had to present all across the country at conferences. I would have to spend days sitting down to write my proposals, maybe get it accepted or not get accepted, running for like offices and national positions in these organizations. In 2022, you really don't have to do that. Now, it's good for you to do it. And it's good for you to do it because of the experience of talking in front of an audience, of planning a proposal, of going through the process. So that is not something I would ever discredit. But you can literally show yourself to be an expert in your field on TikTok. People are learning and gaining expertise in short form content of 15 to 60 seconds. In less than a minute, people are learning to become an expert in a field. And you can learn to teach people to become experts in a field. And that markets you and that brands you. And to be honest with you, some of the leaders, I'm telling you, I can think of one content creator. I will not say his name. He's exceptionally popular, really one of the biggest Black social justice creators in the field, but he is he's ignorant on a lot of topics. And it's not willfully ignorant. It's that he just doesn't know. He thinks he knows, but he doesn't know. And he really would benefit significantly from Dr. Morgan. But yet he has a mass following and is seen as very credible. And he charges a premium price too for his workshops. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just simply saying there is value in the steps along the way. So yes, you can become an expert on social media. I think that you should use social media for your branding. But I also think that you need to make sure that you know your stuff and you are an expert before you get out there and share with the world and charge like you are an expert. And that's correct. You are paying for your intellectual property and you deserve to be paid for. And that is something like what we saw stated earlier by Ms. Riviera. We're not used to doing as educators. We're not used to getting paid for our intellectual property. We're making and writing a beautiful lesson plans, doing massive, great works and lessons every single day. And it's a part of our work, but we're getting paid no compensation for it or the extra work that we do.
Oh, thank you. There's a comment that said, how much experience do you need to come across? This varies and your price point goes up as you go up. And so as Dr. Kurt stated, there's various entry points into this work. I was doing it for $350. I had no shame doing it for $350. That was my travel. For those of you that know, I love to travel. That's how I funded this extravagant travel history that I've had, was those $300 to $1,000 workshops. As you start, your price reflects where you are in your journey. And as you learn and as you invest in yourself, because that's important too. As I continue doing this work, I get mentoring, I get coaching. My coaches, some of the coaches that I have are the ones that put me onto some of these projects. And it's very important that you invest in those things. They cost money. The coaching costs at least $5,000 for like a 5-6 month program and I'm talking about you're meeting that person like twice a month for 2 hours at the most, and you're paying that kind of money. But these are the people that are helping you.
Wait a minute. Go back. You're saying who's paying $5,000 for coaching?
Yeah, me. I'm paying the money.
You're paying that money for a coach. That coach, that's right. Today's price is not yesterday's price. That is right.
You got us cutting up out here. Who did that?
But I love it. That's like my favorite quote. I love it. I'm getting ready to make some TikToks as soon as I can about it. What I'm gonna tell Joe Biden, forgiving student loans. You ain't getting my vote now. He gonna get my vote. We ain't got no options. I mean, they finna like arrest all the parents of trans kids. So of course I'm voting for Biden. Yeah. But I ain't gonna let him know I'm gonna vote for him until he forget these student loans.
Yeah.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yes. So your experience, Brandy, to answer your question, you can be an expert in different arenas. I was an expert in the K-12 arena, and then I became an expert in the nonprofit arena, and then I became an expert in the corporate arena, and now I'm getting ready to venture into being an international expert. And so that comes with a different price tag as I grow. And then I charge for my IP at those various levels. So a lot of people don't realize that what you put down on those slide decks when you make those presentations for your students, if you're an educator, if you are a professional leader and you do professional learning, those slide decks that you make, there's a premium price for it. So your job is only paying you a fraction of what your intellectual property is worth. And that money is out there. Like, people are willing to pay top dollars, and they want it from educators because we understand pedagogy and andragogy. We understand how people learn. And that is a gift that we have. It's a gift, it's a talent, it's a blessing that we have.
And we got it, and you know it. So the point is, you are an expert. You have your degree and you have experience using it. Not only did you obtain a degree in music education, but you use it every single day in the actual practitioner space. That has built a level of expertise that is worthy of sharing with others. And that, to me, makes you marketable and makes it easy to demonstrate that you have transferable skills. Dr. Morgan, there are a lot of people out there. That's right. These are great nuggets from Dr. Morgan. As you continue to go out there, continue to expand the brand, and continue to do the work. We always end, Dr. Morgan, with a game on the Zactivist Speaks. And tonight we're back. It's the last episode during Black History Month. We will start off in March with the focus on Women's History Month and some of the issues that are affecting and impacting women in the workforce. Especially in female-dominated industries like education, where the majority of the workforce is female, but the majority of the leader force, they're male.
Speak on it.
These are some issues that we're going to address on next Thursday. In addition to that, you're going to see on my LinkedIn, I'm going to post a list of well-curated tech jobs that are right now open to apply for, as well as like tech jobs in education, and a list of international opportunities that you may want to pursue as well. So those two things will be coming from me one on Monday and one on Tuesday of next week via LinkedIn. We're going to play a new little game for you. So they love you. They're loving you.
Hold on. They said, don't forget to, so if I didn't answer your question, there was one question about healthcare, and I just got a hospital contract. So I would love to connect with you and tell you.
That was from Crystal, and I will also send you her info.
Yes. So feel free to reach out to me. My IG is the Executive Learning Lab. So you can find me there. I also have my my other IG, which is like me as well, not the company. It's called Females with Funds, because I believe in securing our bags. So that's another one that people don't know that's mine. And then you can find my website at www.theexecutivelearninglab.com. Oh, he about to take my card. Oh!
No, we're not going to take your Black card.
Okay.
Even though it's Black History Month, but I might take your teacher card, right?
Okay.
So this is a version of, instead of it being Black card revoked, it is teacher card revoked. And those of you out there watching along with us, definitely feel free to, it's called Females with Funds. Candy is a personal one. Females with Funds. The professional one is the Executive Learning Lab. So I'm going to have a question. Those watching, drop in the chat your answers. We'll see what we get. Question number one for you, Dr. Morgan, is this: what is the most common answer given by a teacher when they are late to work because they overslept due to a fun night with family or friends?
My car broke down.
Right, it's something with the car. My car broke down. The traffic was terrible today.
Yes.
You still have your teacher card for that one. Okay. The next question. Right, and then my alarm didn't go off. Is also
that's a good one.
Lights went out. Alarm. My alarm didn't go off. That's right. Here's the question. What is the most common reason given by teachers for not being able to get a parent to return a phone call? So the teacher has been calling the parent and supposedly, and they don't get a response. What will the teacher then say about the parent?
Oh, I don't like this because I do a course on this. So what I think it is what I hate, what I dislike when people say is like these parents don't care about their kids. I don't like that. That is one of my greatest. I don't even think that's a microaggression. That's a macroaggression for us to think that our families don't care. Every family care about their child.
Right. That's exactly. Now, many times they do say the cell phone was not in service.
Yeah.
But I think that's like verifiable, right? That's something you can truly see, or your screen crack. But I have found that a lot of times in my experiences, if the first thing they'll say is that the parents just don't care about these kids. And that is such a misconception and such an easy way to write off the real issues impacting our children. So I love, and look at this, like, you want two and all. You've not missed one yet. Let's see if I can take this card with the next question. Here's the question. What is the best thing for a teacher to eat in the school cafeteria? Because see, we don't eat everything. But what is it that when they have this in the cafeteria, you have got to eat it?
I personally like the meatloaf, but y'all gonna take my card. I love the meatloaf. I love cafeteria meatloaf.
I have never heard that one. But let's see what is James Davis said. Nothing. And Crystal.
I do not like cafeteria
pizza.
I do not like it. Let's see if that's
it. Annette said grilled cheese.
All right.
Jermaine said chicken soup.
Okay. I like the turkey. I also like turkey. I love whenever they do that dry turkey.
The holiday meal with the turkey and the dressing.
But I used to bring my lunch.
This one was open, and I don't think anybody picked my answer. And let me tell you.
Okay.
I only ate really one thing from the cafeteria. And it was a breakfast item at my old cafeteria. And I have some of my old students on here, so they will be able to verify this. For whatever reason, my old high school had only one thing that was good to me, and it was the grits. They had cheese grits in the morning, and I would go and get those hot cheese grits every morning, and that's the one thing. And I think they may have been like 25 cents. And I thoroughly enjoyed those cheese grits. In the South now, we didn't have no super donuts. Now, that's not something we get in Georgia schools.
Yeah.
In Ohio, maybe so.
The fruit is always good. Okay.
And that's in California, Dr. Washington. We didn't have fruit in Georgia. Grits is the fruit, okay? Georgia, grits is considered to be a fruit. Right. Brandy remembers those cheese grits were excellent. So, right, and you knew it was gonna be the cheese grits. No, mine were not. Those cheese grits kept me the whole day, like, because I could take my time.
Are you reading these comments?
I know they're great, right? They're great. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I watched in Chicago, and so yeah, it is regional. Here's the next question: what is the most popular dish at the faculty potluck? So when somebody brings, you have the faculty potluck, what is the most popular dish at the potluck?
I'm about to lose my card because I don't eat none of that stuff. I don't know what you got at your house. I'm not eating none of it. Let me see. What would pound cake?
The faculty potluck, brand. Look, baby, I don't know what kind of school you working at, but you can't have no drinks at the faculty potluck.
Like caffeinated beverages, not.
I know I'm joking.
Soda. No, we ain't bringing no chili. I would say pound cake.
Okay,
me too, Kay. I don't eat anything. If you bring it,
but see, fruit. Somebody said fruit salad.
No, pasta. We all gonna lose our card, y'all. Somebody said drink.
We know it's not alcohol.
If it's from Publix, I'm gonna eat it. But that's it. What is it? Anything store bought? Okay, and still wrap. I know that's right.
If it is still store bought, like cookies, right? Like if it's store bought, okay?
Yes.
Then we're going to eat it.
Yeah.
But if it is not store bought, you know what? It maybe will not get eaten. Yes. And here's the last question for
So did I get that one? Because I said nothing.
You got them all.
Okay.
What are you not going to eat at the faculty potluck?
I ain't touching nothing that didn't come from Publix. I'm sorry, from a store. Nothing.
So yeah, PE teacher brought fruit cups to the faculty potluck. That's a shame, right? Like that. Come on.
Who do you have on this live? Look at these comments.
That is right. Now this is the potato salad. Here is the answer.
I'm not eating nobody potato salad.
If you really, when I give you the answer, you guys are gonna laugh. This is the real answer, and I know y'all talk about this in the background. You're not gonna eat anything at the faculty potluck made by somebody who has cats in the house. And you know they have cats because sometimes they'll talk about their cats, or they're gonna have cats on their black clothes, right? They have cat hair.
I ain't gonna let you do that. I'm not about to let you do that because I didn't think I was a cat person, and there was this neighborhood cat that just started coming around. He's been missing for a year now, so I lost my little connection. And I love that little cat. Like I love that, and I never thought I would be a cat person, but that little cat got me to thinking. I think I could do a cat. I think I can.
He outside my house right now. Okay? The cat is outside my house. I've named him Harold.
On the counter.
I am a cat person, but my cat is good and gone. My cat dead as dead can be. In 16 years, I did have a cat. Aww. But guess what I didn't bring to the faculty potluck? Not a thing, okay? Because I wasn't going to eat it, and I wasn't going to contribute. I just walk in, look at the food, and say, not this year, and keep on going. And every year was the same thing. And knowing that my cat was not on the counter, because when my cat was a kitten, he got sprayed in the face by the water bottle, and he dared not do any of those things that he should not do. My cat knew what was going to happen. Yeah, outside cats don't count. I agree. Outside cats don't count.
Yeah, they don't. But
and you also do know that you're right, Dr. Washington. We know the people that don't wash their heads, and we watch them because we literally see them go in the bathroom and walk out, and we didn't hear the water run. So we say real far away, like you can't even touch me. But we know they exist, and they're in every school. That's right, and the cat's name was Pete. Absolutely. So his name was Peter the cat, and I called him Petey for short. Peter the cat. He lived a good 16 years. God rest his soul as he transitioned into wherever cats go on October 31st.
OSHA. Somebody said OSHA.
So, Dr. Morgan, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. Yes. I appreciate you taking time to talk to my people. Yes. And I know that we will be continuing to collaborate. Everybody wants to continue the conversation with you. Yes. You can find her on Instagram, follow her on LinkedIn, follow her on Twitter.
Yes, please do. Twitter, I'm Dr. Morgan Tell. On Twitter, I'm Dr. Morgan Tell. Dr. Dr. Morgan and then Tell. So yes, please follow me. I follow back.
You're right, Candy. The cat wants into this house. The cat is not going to come into this house, but I do make sure I feed the cat.
That's why the cat go away.
And the cat is not getting no cat food. The cat gets like those Kroger packs of tuna. That is what the cat is fed, right? That is what my cat is fed. You're right, and you're right, because I'm not cooking, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure you eat well. I'm not going to cook.
Oh yeah, Zach come through with the food. I can attest. I just saw.
Oh wait a minute. Oh, you had it too.
No, this is we just went out. When was this? Oh yeah, you take care of us.
A couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna take care of you. Gonna eat. You gonna eat good.
You gonna eat good with Dr. Carter. You're gonna eat real good.
It's a part of the experience. We got to eat to live. You know what? They keep the mice and the snakes away.
Yes. Oh, it was great connecting with y'all too. Looking forward to it. I can't wait to come back. I know you. Please don't put no hilarious clips, because you do those clips and I'm like, my facial expression when I talk, I'm very animated.
No,
my clip is about to look off the chain.
Dr. Morgan, I know you've heard about giving kids peppermint before they take a trip.
Spark your thinking. Yes, it's really good for you.
I think the kids used to look at me like I was crazy as heck. But like those things make a difference.
Yes.
They make a difference. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. I'll be back next week. See you soon. Mwah!
Have a good night.